Welcome to Geese 4x4. Today, we're going to put a clocking ring on the bobbed Excursion. On the bobbed Excursion. You can tell I've already started the process because the transfer case lives there. It's currently there. So yeah, I will show you guys exactly what I did. Got the camo side of Grayson Camo here because I was afraid to do it by myself because it's heavy and it's scary, guys. And anyway, we've got a clocking ring on that thing. We're gonna try and see how much of the floor we have to beat up. So we're gonna let you guys know on that, show you guys how we installed the clocking ring, and show you how to put a clocking ring on in general. So anyway, stay tuned to the video. Let's get going. All right, so you can see that the transfer case is already on the ground. I want to tell you guys a little bit about removing it and the process. I've heard and seen some tools that are like crazy L wrenches and stuff like that. And that is true. It is not easy to get that bottom bolt, and like the middle one on the passenger side is like really hard. There's not enough room to get the wrench moving. A flexible head ratcheting wrench is a really, really good tool. The other thing is I took the transmission mount off and I took the cross member off. So those two things, I was able to put a jack stand right underneath where the transmission mount mounts, but it mounts and hangs over the back. And so being able to get a wrench flat on that bottom bolt was super easy once we got that off. And yeah, just all that stuff. It made it way easier. So would recommend pulling off the cross member and the transmission mount. Made it so much easier. All right, so here's what you're gonna have looking at with the transfer case out. Got this little locating pin. I'm gonna see if I can't pull that thing out. I don't think it's gonna pull out. I think I'm gonna have to cut it off, but let's see if I can't. And then I'm gonna clean this face up right here. We got a new gasket for this. Then we are about ready to put it back in. When you pull it out, you've got a vacuum line. It's actually a breather line, not a vacuum line. And then you've got two connectors, one for, it's like two different motors. I don't understand. One of them must be for the light and one of them must be for the motor. But anyway, got those. You got to pull both drive shafts. Got my front one hanging down here. I probably should put it on something besides the wires, but it's fine. I've got a jack stand, block of wood underneath the back of the transmission so that it doesn't fall on my face. So anyway, we're going to try and pull this thing out of here. All right, so when we dropped the transfer case, it did leak a little bit of fluid out of here. This is where we got the seal for. I've pushed the alignment pin. I just hit it. I heated it up, and then I hit it back through, and it actually went back through. So now it's clear of the alignment pin. And then we're going to come back in here and see if we can get our transfer case a little bit clocked up here and stop hanging below the frame rail. So anyway, wish us luck. All right, so we got this clocking ring installed on the transfer case. Put some right stuff behind it so that it would be sealed to the transfer case. We're going to use a factory seal out here on the outside. Bought some, they are 10 by 1.5 pitch, and then they've got the countersunk head on them. I bought these at Ace Hardware. So they were 35 millimeter M10 1.5 pitch and the countersunk head. They do not come with that. Comes with these studs here, so you don't want to put these in until you got it all on there and make sure that they're nice and loose. Put some Loctite on these. Now this is all complete, and we're going to go to installing it. All right, so I've got a couple of part numbers for you. This is the gasket between the transmission and the transfer case. This is a Felpro, so that number will work on Amazon or anywhere. And yeah, this is, you could use two of these. I used the right stuff for the actual plate, the clocking ring to the transfer case. And then I used this to the transmission so that it can move and come out really easily. The other part number, we've got U4024A. This is the actual clocking ring to rotate the driver's transfer case, driver's side drop, T-case up, or the passenger T-case down. So my pro tip for you for this install, there's the transfer case, is make sure your Excursion is lifted tall enough so you can almost sit underneath it. It's perfect then. If you can't sit underneath it, it's going to be a hard job. Now hold it right there. I know that I have not posted anything this year, and you're watching the first long form video that I've posted this year. Well, I took a little bit of a break. Been having a rough winter here up in Washington as far as just cloudiness, and honestly, it's gotten to me. And so I haven't been very productive at all. Been working on some other things, been working on Amazon reviews, trying to get Geese 4x4 to make some money here. So the Amazon video or the YouTube videos weren't making that much money. They still aren't. And so I kind of just put them on the back burner. But I'm back at it. I don't know if I'm going to be quite as consistent anymore, once a video a week thing. But I'm here. The Ford Excursion still has to be built, still has to have things done. Are you interested in seeing me like remaster some of the old videos? I'm gonna make a poll in the comment section, or maybe in the comment section and the community tab. See what we get some responses here. If you guys are interested in seeing those videos, kind of using that footage and re-editing them, making them better, maybe voicing over so you guys know exactly what I'm doing. But anyway, back to this video, and appreciate you being here. Appreciate you waiting out the time. All right, so this thing is ready to come out for a second time, or a third time. We put it up there to test fit it yesterday, and we beat out the floor a little bit. And then I installed it, and then we went to put the cross member back on, and the thing is still in the floor. So, got some more marks. I'm gonna get this thing all the way out of here. It actually hits the frame a little bit too, so I'm just gonna notch the frame out right there, just a hair. It's not gonna affect anything. And then I'm probably gonna heat the floor up and use like a 4x4 and try and push. It essentially needs to be flat with, I don't know if I can get my fingers. So there's a bump right here. You can see that bump needs to be fully flattened out, and then all of this area needs to be flat with it. Same in the front. I will show you guys what we get set up. This is going to be really sweet when it's done. It's very tucked up in there. All right, so we came back in and we did some more filling here, or massaging. Essentially, I've taken this whole channel here, which is, you can see there's the transmission. You go back, this is the edge of it. Taken that whole channel and made it go all the way through. So this is about all the same level right here, right along here. I got enough width for my hand, which is pretty much the transfer case. I've got this little notch cut in the frame, just probably 1/4 inch down and then 2 inches wide. I marked it out on my transfer case on either side of it, and then I just went down 1/4 inch. And now we're gonna spray some paint up here and put this thing back in for another test fit. All right, well, it's finally installed. You can actually move it and it doesn't hit anywhere as far as I can move with my hands. Obviously it might move a little bit more. This is the only part I'm worried about. This one's pretty close, but it's a 1/16, maybe an 1/8, and then on the top of it, I got almost a 1/4 inch. Down in there, I've got probably an 1/8, and we've got some movement. It's gonna wanna twist down, I believe, if I'm thinking of the motor rotation right, and that's helpful. And then, you know, anything I can do right here doesn't hit it. So, pretty awesome. It's tight, but it's worth it for the flat that I get out of it. Pretty cool. All right, so the kit comes with these studs that go into the caulking ring, and that's a 3/8 16 thread. And so we ended up, looks like the newer ones, I did some research, the website picture shows that it comes with bolts now. So we ended up getting bolts as well. Didn't like how long there was the bolts. These nuts were not covering enough threads on these. Didn't like that. So I ended up, for the Excursion, a 3/8 16 pitch, grade 8, inch and 1/4 bolt is what I ended up using to put the transfer case to the transmission. All right, so you've watched that. We got that thing back up in there. Pretty awesome. And you've been watching this whole thing and you've been saying, what has you gained? Well, let's show you exactly what we've gained. You can see I got Blue Bob white truck. I'm going to show you guys exactly what we gained here. I'm going to turn this camera around, give you some measurements that you can measure on yours and see what you can gain. Definitely do have to mess up the floor, so prepare for that. But I think it's worth it. I'll show you why. All right, well, I'm just going to give you some sweeping shots here. So we got straight in from passenger side on the white truck. So this is a factory one, non-clocking ring, okay? I'm going to roll over here, take you straight in from the frame on the bob. You can see that's the transfer case just barely hanging below. We're going to give you some measurements and show you exactly what we gained. All right, so I set the tape measure on this mount right here. I'm hoping, this one right here, hoping that bob has the exact same. Looks like the bottom of this transfer case is right about 14 inches from the bottom of the body. Body on bob is still on factory mounts, so that, that point right there should be the exact same as the white truck and as your Excursion. All right, so bob from that same point, we are looking at now, oh man, 11 inches. So we gained 3 inches. That's pretty significant ground clearance wise and getting your transfer case out of the way. And then from the frame rail, like an inch, you can now see just how flat this thing is sitting. I've got it sitting dead, just about as level as I can get it, and the transfer case is just about as level as you could go. So pretty darn cool, definitely worthwhile doing for an off-road truck. Well, alrighty, there it is. As I said right at the end, do I think that this is worth doing for a normal Excursion that you're never going to be off-road with, and it's a definite need to have mod? No way. But if you are going to use it off-road and you are at all interested in getting some more ground clearance, making sure you don't hit it, those factory transfer case skids are really cool, but they're huge. They hang below the frame rail super low, and we've already got a really long wheelbase truck. So tucking everything up helps us in that breakover angle, just helps us, you know, make this thing even more capable. So I wanted to make sure that I got my breakover angle figured out. Now I can build a skid plate for down there, make that thing really nice and smooth. It was a big process, in and out. I think we had a total of the transfer case in and out 4 times, including the time that it was initially out. A buddy helped a ton. You could do it by yourself if you strapped it to your transmission jack. It did work on the transmission jack. It's a little bit sketchy to get out because of the way it's clocked. Once you're starting to lay it flat, it's much easier to get it in and out on the transmission jack. I'm very happy with this off-road design. That was a super nice plate. Like I said, I bought those bolts. I told you guys exactly what those ones were, the countersunk ones, and then I bought the bolts that go in from the transmission to the transfer case. So told you guys what all of that was. I'm going to put links down in the description for bolts. I'm going to put a link to off-road design. Remember, I get a little bit of commission when you buy stuff from Amazon. I'm friends with off-road design guys, but I don't get anything from them. They just make awesome products. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. We will see you next time.